Hello, everybody. It's yours truly at Miller Momentum, and I'm back rocking the look of an Old Testament prophet for a while because I'm still recovering from surgery. But hey, you know what? Speaking of Old Testament prophets and prophetic visions and stuff, how's my portfolio been working out this year? Pretty darn good. It really has indeed. So, not that I'm going to brag too much, but this little mini episode is going to be about a brief update of how we've been doing with the Miller Momentum Flagship Portfolio this year, how my investments have been doing, and maybe, I don't know, one or two foresights I might have about what's coming later this year or what I think might be coming. You know, I hate to predict the market, but eh, that's the game. If you want to win on YouTube, you got to play it. So let's dive right in. All right. So, as you can see right here, Miller Momentum Flagship is the blue line on the top. And we've got the total US stock market represented by the yellow line on the bottom, and the total global stock market, whole world, represented by Vanguard's index fund. That's the yellow line in the middle. Now, normally I would be showing my actual numbers on my portfolios and stuff, but I don't really have the time to go in and screen out all of the personal details and put in all of the little black boxes and everything like that. So it's good enough to just show you this new Testfolio site that shows hypothetical growth of 10,000 invested year to date. So right now in most of my accounts, I'm up about 10 to 12% year to date so far. And testfolio.io is extrapolating that out to if these kind of gains continued for the rest of the year, then the Miller Momentum Flagship Portfolio could expect something around the range of a 49.99% return within the year of 2026. So that's a lot higher than the projected return right now for the total US and total global stock markets, respectively. The total global stock market, of course, is doing much better than the US alone. And anyone who has gone back into history knows that the global stock market and US stock market, at least for the past 80 years, have kind of leapfrogged and flip flopped between who's in the lead. So whether you're part of the VT and chill crowd or part of the, buy S&P 500 and just sit on it crowd, both of those crowds are probably going to come out just about within a hair's breadth of each other in terms of actual outcome in the long run, unless something really wild happens and the US just tanks in terms of its share of global markets. And that's why, of course, I always split my allocations between international and domestic. I don't go straight global index. I don't go straight US index. My Miller Momentum Flagship Portfolio, which you can learn all about on my channel, actually goes 50-50 in terms of its stock proportions as to whether those stocks are domestic or international. Now, what's interesting to note that we've seen in this year so far is that the Miller Momentum Flagship has actually had the largest max drawdown at this point of all three of these options, which is quite surprising given its construction. It's usually more robust than the other two, but we're dealing with a very small time frame, and that huge drop, which you can see right around 129, right in there, that's mainly due to the action of silver. And I don't consider it that big of a deal because, hey, the blue line's still above the other lines. So that's what ultimately matters at the end of the day. And in this tiny sliver of the year that we've encountered so far, I think we've had like what, 0.17 years so far in 2026. We're not even through 2/10 of the year yet. But already the Miller Momentum Flagship Portfolio is rocking a Sharpe ratio of 2.53 compared to the US stock market's zero point zero 0.05 or the global stock market's 0.86. You can see some very favorable Sortino ratios here, very favorable Calmar, very favorable Ulcer index for all three options thus far, I should point out. But the issue is Miller Momentum Flagship is just getting so much more bang for your buck in this year so far. So that's the gist of it. That's where things stand at the beginning of March. I think it's going to be quite a wild ride this year with continuing turbulence from the White House. And I think that that's going to spell a good future for investment strategies that allocate beyond traditional stocks and bonds, that go into your commodity trading advisor space, that go into precious metals like gold and silver, that go in for more exotic bond instruments like catastrophe bonds that are beyond just the traditional bond market exposure that you would get even from an aggregate bond fund like BNW. um, Vanguard's global bond fund doesn't have any catastrophe bonds within it, to the best of my knowledge. So it pays to be diverse and truly capture a full whole market perspective, the market not being limited to just stocks and bonds. I hope that you've enjoyed this little update today. I look forward to making more videos for you soon in the future. And hey, Godspeed, y'all, and happy spring. Let's keep rolling with Miller Momentum. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment or send an email with questions. I actually got some emails coming in and I enjoy responding to any of your questions. I apologize for delays right now, of course, due to my health situation, but you know, it is what it is. And I'll get